Today, we welcome Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz. She represents District D at City Hall. And if you would like to join the conversation, and if you have questions, you can give us a call at 713-440-8870. Councilmember Evans-Shabazz, welcome to Hello Houston. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you so very much for having me.
Exactly which neighborhoods are yours, just so our listeners know?
You really want me to start there?
Well,
Sagemont, South Park, Sunnyside, South Union, 3rd Ward, Museum District, Medical Center,
oh, nice.
Midtown.
So before we get into all the issues facing you on
Oh, and
this,
3rd Ward, excuse me.
Third Ward.
No, you said
Third
Third
Right,
Ward.
I did say
Yeah, you
3rd
said
Ward.
Third Ward.
Right here where we are today.
Yes.
Thank
before
you.
you get into all the issues facing your district, I'm curious just your reaction to what's going on statewide right now with the Democrats and this redistricting.
Well, I'm going to have to say, of course, I am a Democrat, but more importantly, I am for democracy, and I see that there's a mandate that has been given from the White House to call for 5 additional Republican representatives. We're in the middle of a census cycle, so I don't know, other than racial, political reasons, why they would be trying to redraw the lines at this juncture. But certainly, I commend the Democrats for taking a stand, which is not an easy stand, because they face possible fines and other things that may come down. But at some point, you have to take a stand. And hopefully, someone will decide that we're not going to do this right now. I know people have testified and sent letters and whatever, which is all good because everybody needs to know that this is not right. But at the end of the day, the stance that they have taken now by leaving the state should be commended. And I believe that we should support them the best that we can, because it's a travesty. And because you've been given a mandate does not make it the right thing to do. Yeah. And so I'm a little appalled about it.
Well, might does not make right.
Absolutely not. And we're talking about fairness, and you're trying to impact the minority vote, particularly African Americans and Latinos. And I think that that's totally unfair. And I have to say that it sounds kind of cliche. I have friends that are Republican, but I've never looked at the party as being so disoriented and disconnected as it is now. And it just really, really disturbs me that it's no longer about the people, but certainly about the party, and in particular about one person. So it's 3 Ps. Okay, 3 Ps.
It's interesting, in the past, whenever I would introduce an elected official on our programs, I never thought you needed to give their political party. I thought political party in the race, but once they're elected, they represent all the people of the area they've been elected. That seems to have changed a bit. So I'm curious, from your point of view, once elected, how do you make sure you represent all sides of the issue when you speak for your community in City Council?
Well, actually, City Council electeds are nonpartisan. Mm-hmm. So we don't come in shaking a party banner. Mm-hmm. And so I represent people, mm-hmm. and hopefully common sense, and being able to give everybody quality of life. And so that's my perspective.
How do we get everybody to think that way? How do we bring that platform to the state and the country?
Well, now you want to pull on my psychological background. I really don't know, other than just hoping that people will really realize why they are there. And it's not for self, and it's not to promote yourself or certainly someone else. It's certainly should be about the people. And the people are greatly impacted by the many things that have come down recently that is going to certainly impact them and their quality of life. And I just hope that people will have a conscience. The people that are in those positions will certainly have some sleepless nights until they can realize that they are on the wrong side of history.
And Councilmember Evans-Shabazz, we had Councilmember Tiffany Thomas on Friday of District F, and she was discussing to us about how this would essentially, the redistricting would affect her area and her role, in that she would go from having to work with 2 representatives to potentially 3 to 4. How would this affect your area in District D?
Well, currently I do have 2 representatives. which would be Jolanda Jones and Lauren Simmons in the state. And so, with the redrawing of the lines, it's really hard to say how that's going to impact. But, I try to work with anybody and everybody, and I am willing to make adjustments that are reasonable. But the people that are there, they already have the heart and the desire to do for the people in my constituency. And so I'm just, concerned because I'm also, my Congress is Al Green. And certainly in the vacancy now with the death of Sheila Jackson Lee and ultimately Sylvester Turner. So, which is really unfortunate as well, because some of the things that were passed in Congress were passed with one vote. And certainly had we had representation, which we deserved, we certainly could have stopped some of that which is going on. So it does, I always think that local politics is really your most important. But as we move up the chain, it's certainly everything is like a domino effect. And it certainly can affect those that are in certain districts.
So speaking of local politics, what's keeping you awake at night in District D?
You mean the texts, the emails, the phone calls?
Where are your concerns right now with your district?
We get a lot of calls about the trash.
What is going on with trash in this city these days? Can you help me understand?
So we're going to talk trash, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk trash.
All right. Well, actually, we have a new director, and he has promised that they're going to get on schedule. But they have a lot of trucks that are not operating right now. And of course, the trash continues to pile up regardless of whether you have the manpower or the mechanical tools such as vehicles. Hopefully it's going to come under control, but I get a lot. And the thing is, what I want people to understand is I have to put my trash out as well. And my trash is sometimes not picked up. Of course, I could probably get, some special whatever. But I really believe that everybody in the neighborhood needs fair trash pickup. And I believe that is the objective. And the mayor has worked with the director, and the director has worked with the mayor. And I think that we're going to eventually get it under control.
Soon? Can you give an estimate?
Well, I'm anticipating hopefully within a month. Okay. I would hope. It's really hard for me to say because, it really depends on whether the trucks are put back in service. Of course, we always come up every time and we talk about a trash fee, and nobody wants to seem to talk about that, which may be very helpful in hiring more people and servicing the vehicles. And so I'm a person that believes that it is my responsibility to put my fair share out there, and it's going to help everybody if everybody does it. And so hopefully at some point we will discuss the trash fee. And certainly one of the biggest I keep hearing and getting, and I think this is going to be one of the topics of conversation, the noise that is taking place. Everybody, oh, yeah, that's it. The noise that is taking place particularly now on Emancipation. We did have a huge problem on Alameda at one time, but I think that it's been kind of covered for a while. And certainly we have certain parts of the city around the parks where we have pop-ups, so to speak, with the cyclists and the trucks and the whatever. And so we keep HPD very busy, as well as Constable Smokey Phillips, who certainly always engages to help us.
Zoning, would that help with the noise if we approve zoning, or is that just too different
that seems to be a taboo subject. Yes. That is something that I think went on the ballot many, many years ago, and for some reason it did not pass. But it would help.
Would it help?
Because that would mean that people would already be aware of certain businesses that are going to attract a certain amount of noise and traffic, right. Whereas over on Emancipation, they're right there mixed up with the residents. And it's a nightmare over there. I have to say that myself. I don't live very far, and so I do pass over there occasionally just to kind of check on things. If I hear there's going to be a big party or whatever, I do reach out to HPD and the constable, and they do show up to come and try to deal with that. But more recently, the mayor has been involved with the police chief, and now we're going to have a club squad. Now, I'm told that it's supposed to start like any day now, and then they will be able to control the traffic and noise just as they have done on Alameda. But it takes time to get it done. But certainly, my heart goes out to people who are living in that area. My other job, I'm a real estate broker, and I cringe when people want to even look at properties over there, because they really, you really need to disclose that these things are happening over there to let them know that their quality of life could be greatly impacted. Mm-hmm. But, they're closing off streets and all the kinds of things that are just unbelievable taking over, but they're not from the area, most of the people. They are coming from other areas, but they're certainly disrespecting the neighborhoods.
And you're listening to Hello Houston. We're speaking with Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, and you can join the conversation at 713-440-8870.
We have a call from Jacob in the Montrose area. Jacob, what's your question or comment?
Shabazz is the district of destiny, and is a destiny to your event at Energy Park, and also to go to U of H, because it's also in the district of destiny.
Yes, how are you today, Jacob?
Oh, I'm doing quite well, Dr. Carolyn.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's the district of destination, but we're not trying to have the noise and the disruption make its destiny to District D.
And I think Jacob's question is an NRG Park where I work in the district of destination?
NRG is actually District K.
Okay.
But we are right there close to that area. So that would be the district where our Mayor Pro Tem, Martha Castex Tatum, is the council member. But we have a lot of engagements around that area, and they are District D.
The steps with the homeless that have been recently taken, that's got to affect your districts, part of it.
Certainly.
Yes.
Certainly it does.
How's that working? Has it been successful or not?
Well, and I have to take a heavy sigh because first and foremost, I have a very deep affection and love for people, period, regardless of where they are in life and where they're going and where they have been. And some of the people are in really unsafe conditions, either physically and mentally. And we're just trying to actually get more than making it criminal or criminalizing them. We want them to take advantage of the resources that could help them to maybe get some mental help and some financial help and a roof. And so the most recent was the civility ordinance, which we have in District D, but it is not for the 24-hour period like it is downtown. Of course, the concern is if they're not zombies. They have to sit down, lay down somewhere. So they will be pushed to adjacent neighborhoods, which eventually is probably going to result in a 24-hour civility notice ordinance in those areas as well. But again, people, you all are criminalizing the homeless. I would love for somebody to give me a solution to this because it's multifaceted, because people are out there for different reasons. Some just don't want to be a part of the thread, and some are mentally unstable, or some just don't have resources. So to say that there's one solution is really not a correct statement, but certainly we are striving to try to get them to get the resources, not to criminalize them.
Thank you. I want to get a call in from Paul. He's in Midtown.
Okay.
Hi, Paul.
Hello. Hey, how are you doing today? Thank you, councilperson. Heard your comments about the noise and whatnot on when you're saying it jumped from Alameda to Emancipation. That is true. Ever since Turkey Lake Hut shut down about 6 months ago, the traffic and the noise on Alameda has died down, but it jumped across 288. And now if you try and get over around Emancipation and Elgin and whatnot, it's crazy. The traffic there and the noise is as bad as it was when the Rockets won the championships back in the in the early 90s down Richmond Avenue. I live on the other side of 288 off of McGowan. And we can even hear it from that side. But hopefully the mayor, what you were saying, going to have a squad going out there. But the residents on that side are really, really getting it bad.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul.
And Paul.
One other thing. The whole power grab with the redistricting, that's ridiculous. I've been in Houston since 1973. I remember when Barbara Jordan was my rep for the 18th district.
Absolutely.
And then we had Washington. And then we had Sheila Jackson Lee. And then it was just a power grab by the governor, not even giving us representatives in all this time period. And we could have had at least one vote. We're not the only one here. There's one up in Dallas and somewhere else in the country. Those 3 votes could have put a stop to the big, ugly, horrendous bill.
Paul, we're going to be covering that throughout the week and weeks to come on the show. So I hope you keep listening, and I hope you'll call back and share. We're just a little bit tight on time right now.
Thank you, Paul. You're my kind of guy.
Representative or Councilmember Shabazz, what do you have to say about that?
Well, he said a lot. Well,
Asked and answered, I think. I mean, the noise problem is a noise problem.
Well, he's actually absolutely right, and we're hoping that the squad will be able to stop some of that. And then we did, and when I say we, it was Councilmember Kamen, Sally Alcorn, and I sat with Mayor Turner, and we helped to devise a noise ordinance, which is supposed to address some of the noise. But what I have found to be the problem with that is enforcement. And certainly they may get the citations, but we have to have the court system to cooperate. Right. And what I have spoken about on many, many occasions, we need night court. The infractions are taking place at night. Right. The police officers are there at night, and they must be in attendance at these court hearings. And what you're asking them to do is give a citation, and they work at night, and then you want them to turn around, and you're having court at 9 a.m., and they have to be in court 8:30 or 9, and they're not on the clock. And so we're asking, and I've asked several times, if the court we could have night court.
Love it.
Right. And then that way the people, even in the community who are working during the day and trying to sleep at night, can come to court to testify.
It's a great
Excellent.
idea.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston.